What's poppin' YouTube? It's T Del Cardi, and I'm stopping in to show you guys how to achieve an easy smoked out cut crease with my rose gold palette from Elf Cosmetics. That's pretty easy. This is beginner friendly. I've already concealed and press powdered my eyelids as well as put the slit in my brow. I'm gonna go in with my translucent and transition color. Actually, I mixed them together here and then kind of blend those out, of course, so we don't have like blotchy patches in our work here. Then after that, of course, follow on the other lid, and I went in with, it looks like actual chocolate brown located in the palette, just to kind of give some depth to it, because of course I do want to actually be able to see the transition in my color. Now I'm actually following up with a darker pink, just to kind of put in the crease there. Of course, since it is a rose gold palette, lots of the colors have like that undertone, and of course it helps to kind of blend out some of the harsh lines from the darker brown that I used at the beginning. Of course, now I'm just kind of packing that on just to kind of, uh, give it a little bit more depth, and then now I'm spreading the color around just to kind of blend everything together with my fluff brush. Of course, my brushes are Morphe. And don't mind my mouth moving on the on the recording. I was on the phone in the process of doing this because I had just received this makeup and I was like, let me try some stuff out. So now I'm gonna go in and do my crease. This time I actually use color corrector, which is technically concealer. But since we were doing, a cut crease with rose gold products, I didn't want to go in with my concealer, because my concealer, even though it's like a tannish, it does still have like warm undertones. So I utilized something, to kind of cancel some of that out. Then I'm just matching it up on each side. And of course, like some people utilize a tool to do their cut crease. I kind of freehand mine simply because of the shape of my eyes. It's like they get wider in the middle and they're very slanted, which is why a lot of the times, like, you probably will see me with like heavy eyeliner, in terms of my wing. But yeah, that's another story. But yeah, so I'm just matching those up before I get ready to, apply the color on there. Okay, and so then I go in with this rather shimmery, it's kind of like a bubblegumish pink that I used. I'm actually going to follow up with a couple of other things to kind of accent that, and I'll give that information at the end. But yeah, so what I do here is I kind of drag it over a little bit past where I actually have my cut crease closer to the end of my eye, just to kind of help it blend better once I smoke it out. Because one thing about it, I hate, if it's supposed to be a smooth transition, I want it to be that. So I made sure I did it on both of my eyes, and you'll see that. So here I'm then smoking out the ends, of course, with that darker brown that I used. I actually ended up mixing it a little bit with a kinda coppery brown that they had in the palette as well. Of course, now I'm going in with my Elf eyeliner. I love that eyeliner because it just kind of paints on, and once it dries, it's pretty much there until you take it off. It doesn't really run or anything. And this is one of my actually regular eyeliners, because sometimes, I do them big and I put color in them and all of that. But this is kind of like just a natural glam. I also did order some of their mascara just to see, because I've heard good things about it. I like to prime my lashes with my natural lashes, that is, with mascara before putting my lashes on. To me, it just helps to position the lashes, because mine's are kind of curly, and it also helps with when you take them off. I don't want to be bald-eyed. I want to make sure that I do still have lashes when I take mine off. And the lashes I'm using are actually Miss Lash. They're like silk-based minks. I love those lashes, because in my opinion, minks are good, but some minks, they look like tracks, and I don't like that. I don't like extremely big lashes. My eyes are already kind of inverted on the ends, and that'll really make me look like I'm asleep. Okay, and so what I'm doing is following up with concealer around my eyeliner, pretty much just because, it is liquid eyeliner, of course. With me being a perfectionist, I don't want any errors in the terms of anything, but I accent it, it just makes the line crisper. And of course, I'm patting it in and setting it with powder. And it just gives you that nice crisp line around your eyeliner. And then too, it helps to, if you had any fallout on the sides that kind of shimmer through, it'll kind of help to cancel that out. So here I'm actually using the Tarte. Of course, it's their 12-hour clay foundation. Now, this particular foundation, I actually got because I have a subscription to Etsy, and I like it so far. Now, of course, I did zoom in here on the product, but you couldn't see the actual the lettering anyway. But yeah, I utilize like maybe 1 or 2 pumps. Then of course I'm going in with my Pro Concealer. And I love that stuff because like a little bit goes a long way, and it's not even that expensive. I'm just doing my highlight areas. And I like it because it seems to like sink in. And I don't know about you guys, but me naturally, I'm a sweater, and of course, sometimes I can have oily skin. And I will say, once this is set properly, I don't get like the cracking and the shifting of, the dimension of my makeup and stuff. It pretty much stays in contact throughout the whole night until I'm ready to take it off. I mean, I am really talking, ain't I? It was so much going on that night, I remember. But yes, now I don't know about you guys. When it comes to highlighting, I kind of like to take my highlight past my eyes because I already have a naturally like, it's kind of like a heart/circle face. Um, with that being said, if I do everything too circular in my face, like I look like a well-dressed potato, and I'm not trying to achieve that look. So I kind of bring back my my concealer when I highlight. Now what I'm actually using is the Fit Me pressed powder, setting powder, in the color medium brown. I really love this powder. I actually ended up mixing it with one that I had, just because I wanted a little bit more dimension, because sometimes I change concealers and setting powders based on the effect that I want to give. Now this one, once it's set, it pretty much gives you a natural highlight more so. And then of course when I contour, I actually do use a dark concealer just to kind of help to lock the powder that I use to contour in place, because I'm all about, if I have the makeup on, I want it to stay on, I want everything to stay in place. I don't want it shifting and starting to melt together, you know, throughout the night, especially if I start to sweat. Look at me breaking that nose down. Of course, you pat it in, you know, to get those lines out, and see how, you know, it's like it's definite, but it's not really definite in the face. I don't like makeup that looks like that, you know, where you have those really harsh lines. I like everything to kind of flow together. And so, of course, I did set my face. As you've seen, I sprayed it with my rose water, just to kind of help better blend everything together. Simply because once you're working with products, you know, that are semi-wet or possibly dry, based on how long they've been set on your face, sometimes you can pat and shift and try to make all these adjustments, but once it's dry, it's kind of set. So throughout the process of my face, you'll see me like spraying off and on, just to make sure that I'm, you know, transitioning everything the way that I want to. Okay, now I'm going in with the powder, and that actually is black opal that I'm using in the color espresso. Yeah, I'm going right over where you see me put those concealer lines at. And also another thing too, because I smile, sometimes like my smile lines, I actually take the dark concealer and go over those areas too, and set them with that darker powder, just to keep from having that line. Okay, now me, I don't like the harsh line under the contour line with setting powder, so I kind of put mines in, and then, you know, I don't let it go past a certain point of my, like the middle of my jaw, and I just kind of brush it in immediately, because, you know, the longer you let it sit, the more it'll grab a hold of the ends of the concealer or the foundation, and, you know, you go from having a nice cute beat to having what I call a RuPaul Drag Race beat. And no offense to them, but there's no problem with that. It's just not what I'm good for. So I'm actually using my crayon case here. I was using the blush. I really love the blush. It's the Blush Me palette, or Watch Me blush palette, I'm sorry. Of course, set my face again. Then I went in with my finishing brush. Now, it doesn't have any powder on anything like that. What I do with that brush is pretty much I go over all my contour areas just to kind of smooth them out, and then you'll see me go over my entire face with them to remove like all of the powder from the setting powder, and it'll kind of blend all together once I'm done. And you see that there? So now, of course, I'm putting my mascara on the bottom of my eyes, my bottom of my lashes, which of course I fell in love with doing that for a few reasons. It kind of just opens the eye up, makes it look more appealing when you have on false lashes. I'm also lining my lips with the Crayons Case lip liner and Bare. And I'm gonna actually follow up with a brown lipstick. I actually got those. Those are actually Catwalk, and it's also a tan that I went in the middle with. And then of course my not matte concealer, I'm sorry, my MAC lip gloss. Actually, the name of that lip gloss is called Punk.